Hey, here is the 3-in-1 anniversary this month. Polkadot is 1 year old. PromoTeam is also 1 year old. And here is the 10th Hot News episode. Like and subscribe if you want to support us. Polkadot Decoded is finished and we have tons of precious video that we want to share with you. Check for the short announcements and links in the description. We recommend you to watch all of them carefully because it will define not only the short-term future, but more likely the next decade for crypto. Grab your tea or any other drink and let's go! Gavin Wood, Alistair Stewart, lead researcher in Web3 Foundation, Aeron Buchanan, Web3 Foundation Council Moderator, and Peter Mauric, Head of Public Affairs in Parity, Head of Barstool chat and discussed the history of their friendship, early days and history of Ethereum and Polkadot. It's an amazing story to get to know the key figures of Polkadot better and understand their motivation and background. We highly recommend you watching it.
And we need this because what we're trying to deploy is a lot more complicated than has been done in the past with blockchain.
A lot more complicated.
Yeah.
It's taken like maybe 20 to 50, depending on how you count them, expert developers, 3 years to get to where we are now, which is just at the point of releasing the fully functional Parachains version of the protocol. Compare that to a few weeks that it took me and that it took Jeff to get a functional version of Ethereum, right? A few weeks for one developer versus 3 years for like 20, 30, 40, dozens of expert developers.
All three hold advanced computer science degrees, worked on building Ethereum, and have spent the past 4 years building Polkadot decades after first meeting at a grammar school in the UK. So for today's closing act, we thought it'd be great to get to know these three over a beer or two to discuss life, work, and Web 3.0. Welcome, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Coordinate this. Ears up, and we're going to try to hit the middle target here. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Cheers.
That worked.
That kind of worked.
The second amazing video is Polkadot Behind the Code, Episode 2, and Capturing Behind the Code panel. Watch it, you'll like it. This is an explanation of the Polkadot and Kusama concept with the views and details of top developers, community leaders, and investors.
I was always interested in continuing to build, to create. So I built the company that I want to work in. A company that's focused on helping the world get the best out of blockchain.
Many people here believe that this new wave of technologies can actually help, like bringing a technological backstop to the power accumulation that we're seeing in services like Facebook and Google. And now for the first time we can use tech to actually address social problems in a much more fundamental way, like not just applying math to do statistics, but like applying math to help that we don't have to put so much trust in services online.
We have, I think, the best team in the ecosystem. So we don't use other people's technology, we create our own. And much of what we do is, if not strictly research, it's certainly substantial innovation. So we take research grade material and we turn ideas into products.
And that's actually how Polkadot's logic of Parachains is encoded. So it could serve as a very useful launching off point for Parachains to be added to the Polkadot network. And that's huge for us because a lot of Parachain developers are specialists in specific fields like machine learning. So providing something like Substrate where they could just get going and start hacking on their machine learning or data science specific expertise was massively helpful.
We don't need to make that trade-off between innovation and adoption. With Polkadot, we can have both, because we can have Parachains, these independent blockchains under Polkadot, and if we want to innovate, we can add new independent chains that can still interoperate with the older variants. It means that there's an upgrade path so that when the next generation, the latest and greatest, comes along, there's a way that you can move over to it, there's a way that you can use it. You're not stuck out in the cold on your previous generation.
You can't miss another video, Auctions, Crowdloans and Slots by Shawn Tabrizi, Runtime Engineering Lead, Parity Technologies. He explains the whole process in his unique manner.
And this is where Polkadot comes in. Polkadot is actually a layer 0 blockchain, which can connect together these layer 1 solutions, pretty much unlike anything we've seen in the past. And we believe that the future of Web3 will have many blockchains, and that Polkadot really is a platform which will facilitate and enable that vision. So it's also very important to note that when you bid in an auction, you use dots, but you're not actually spending those dots to win an auction. You actually just lock them up for the duration of a slot, which means that when the slot is over and your parachain is, off boards or wants to continue later, you get all of your tokens back. So when tokens are locked up, you can't do things like staking or voting or transfer or anything like that. But that also means really the only cost for being a parachain is actually an opportunity cost. So basically, when you're bidding in a parachain auction, you're saying that the value you can bring to yourself and to the network is more than what you could get for staking, for example. And so it's really, it's super exciting to know that you can become a parachain and not really have to spend any funds. And so it should be clear now why Polkadot is the best platform for the Web3 future. We've designed it to attract the best and most innovative engineering teams. We've minimized the requirements needed to get to production, and we've fostered an active and diverse community who can directly participate and shape the ecosystem. Really, what more can you ask for?
Rob Habermeyer, code developer in Parity Technologies and Polkadot founder, presented Parachains, disrupting the layer 1 landscape. This is the explanation of Parachains and its nature from one of its creators. Very interesting.
And that's really what we've set out to do, was not just solve something and write a mathematical style proof of it can exist, but really to go out and build it. So Parachains, as they're in the launch process now, are this realization of that entire process. And I think this concept of self-organized blockchain token communities is really interesting because it's very, very internet native. You're going to have people from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds and sources, wherever they come from, organizing around some common goal or principles. And the diagram here kind of shows that by having different sort of shapes made up of people that are coming out of, that are distributed globally and organizing around Polkadot. Parachains are disrupting all existing blockchain technology. To get a little bit more specific, I'm talking about both existing layer 1s and smart contracts. So we've got these three key metrics of sovereignty, inherited security, and specialization. So sovereignty is how control of its own destiny an object is. And smart contracts are very subject to the system that they occupy. Inherited security is about whether you need to gather your own validator set, whether you, as a developer, when you're building one of these systems, are going to have to worry about providing economic security and making it too big to attack. And we have different kinds of parachains, right? So rough categorization, we're going to have parachains with tokens that are going to introduce their own native token and pay block authors or introduce some type of new incentivization mechanism. You're going to have parachains that don't have any native token. They're going to be tokenless blockchains that only use the higher level token, which is going to be your DOT or your Kusama. Those are going to be common good chains, right? Basically extending the capability of the native token of the network, right, to let it be used for new types of actions. You're going to have chains that are specialized to a specific purpose. You're going to have chains that are really good at something like file storage, or really good at something like oracles, or maybe offloading computation, whatever it may be, identity, zero knowledge proof systems. And you might have chains that really only do one thing, right? They don't even have account systems. They don't even have governance. They just have this one module that they do really well. And then you can have applications that leverage all of those chains together to create an application that does a whole bunch of things. What's happening next is, well, ideally auctions, right? Not announcing anything right now, but that is the goal once the Parachain is running really smoothly on Kusama. And having some common good parachains, community parachains, finalizing those audits, and then really starting to go through the same process on Polkadot.
There were dozens of great presentations, all of them very interesting, but we can't observe all of them here. So here are the top 5 presentations from the teams you need to watch. Let's start this section from Polkadot for Smart Cities by Sergey Lonchakov, software architect, Robonomics.
Hi everyone, this is Sergey, software architect in Robonomics platform project. Our team working on Polkadot adoption for IoT market since 2018. And today I would like to share with you the vision of most interesting and important place for Polkadot ecosystem and smart city concepts. Of course, it will be my personal opinion, but I guess you will find something. Secondly, I would like to introduce you in Polkadot services for smart city developers, which we are ready to publish in the network in 21-22. Second service will be interesting for Parachain developers. And it's a very interesting example of cross-chain messaging passing architecture. So with the RoboBank substrate models, your Parachain can make more functions for your token in your own Parachain, but without additional runtime logic, difficult logic. So this part of computation will be happened in Robonomics Parachain.
The next video is Composing Next Gen DApp with DeFi Legos on Acala by Buchanan, co-founder Acala.
So super happy to be here today. And I will share some very exciting new developments on composing some crushing applications using DeFi Legos on Acala, Polkadot, and also beyond. And as Peter mentioned, we've also invited a very special guest speaker to shed some light on how we can actually accelerate what we are doing here in crypto, in DeFi, to the real world adoption. And at the end, I'll also showcase a short demo. So it's a fully packed presentation. Hope you all enjoy it. And there I would like to introduce you this concept of hi-fi, a hybrid of DeFi and CeFi. We believe the hi-fi infrastructure will accelerate this movement for real world adoption. And with that, I'm very excited to announce a partnership between Acala and Current, a leading US fintech company serving millions of people who are working to create a better future for themselves. And this partnership, also the first of its kind, will establish a new category of hybrid finance, hi-fi, that combines both traditional and decentralized finance applications for real-world adoption.
Bifrost and Tyrone Pan presented Selfliquidity protocol.
And today I'm gonna share with you some novel ideas about recent hotspot topic, incoming Kusama slot auction, and what's Bifrost's new ideas on it. Here's the principle of SOP on the duration of the Crowdloan. Each contributed tokens through Bifrost SOP will be separated to 2 derivatives, as you see. One is VS token. It represents the utility feature of the original token. And the other one is VS bound, which represents the equity feature to receive the Parachain reverse, and it record the Parachain lease period. They will be available on transaction when Parachain lease period starts. The interesting point is that they are different tokens, but with the combination of them, the underlying token can be fully redeemed as well as unbounding action after the Parachain lease period. You might want to ask now, why we separate 2 derivatives for one bounding? because different Parachain lease period and the different reward rules will separate the derivative equities, but disrupt utility for different Parachains will cause a serious problem, low liquidity.
And Crust presented decentralized storage on Web3 by Zikun Fan, CTO of Crust Network.
And my name is Zikun Fan, the tech lead of Crust. And today I'm going to show you the decentralized storage on Web3 to show you how Crust network combined with the biggest decentralized storage network, IPFS, and the most potential blockchain, Polkadot. So let's just start. I can give you a very quickly conclusion about the demo. As you can see, it's very easy to allow user to store data on Crust. It only takes 3 steps. Step 1, ping the website through the IPFS. And the step 2 is place a storage order through the on-chain decentralized storage market module provided by the Crust network. And it's done. And then the final step is access your website everywhere with the IPFS prefix or the HTTPS prefix. The first is, of course, the Polkadot ecosystem, our Parachain plan. And of course, we're very confident to be the first slots Parachain on Kusama. And because since the Rococo V0, we have joined and tested the XCM demo with Akala, with Fala, and with Darwinia and other Parachains. We do the demo. And the second one is we launched our shadow network to join the Kusama auction to provide a standard XCM module, X storage for the Parachains to store their data, like the Darwinia's NFT data can just cross the chain to store on Crust. And the third thing about our Parachain plan is shadow network is not an independent network. It will connect with mainnet. And currently, we will connect the shadow network with our Maxwell network to manage the storage orders for the whole Parachain ecosystem.
One of the most amazing and promising things is NFTs with the Polkadot by Alexander Mitrovich, unique network.
It's no secret, everybody kind of is thinking that we had a very nice boom in NFT space this year. Everybody's talking about it. My favorite radio station is talking about it all the time, all the mass media as well. But our analysis kind of says that actually we ain't seen nothing yet. This is only the first baby cry as it was born, okay? Maybe not the first, there was one splash when CryptoKitties came out, that was fun. But this is a very, very small kind of effect that we will see grow substantially. So the kind of main argument to that is just take a look at the financials, okay? The overall NFT market is probably about maybe 1% of the overall crypto market. What NFTs actually are is the way to tokenize unique assets, right? And if you just take a look around you, unique assets are basically everywhere around us. They start in a mirror, your own selves, and with identity, of course. And then you go into huge markets like real estate, automobiles, certificates, any certificate, educational business, and so on. And you get then to games and art where everybody's focused today. Now, you know, that's because they're easiest to tokenize. They're kind of closest to that overall nature. What we are doing with that is we made a white label marketplace suite, which includes the wallet, the minting solution, the gallery, and the marketplace, which are open source, available for anybody to start their NFT solution, project, business, whatever, in an hour.
MantaPay, the first product launched on testnet, was officially integrated into the Polkadot JS web application. The back-end development is also completed, and they are currently working on finishing up the front end to bring an easy user experience for the community. This week, Manta Network announced several important partnerships. The first one is a partnership with the Crust network to build a layer of privacy for Crust's decentralized storage network. Crust provides a decentralized storage network Web 3.0 ecosystem. It supports multiple storage layers protocols such as IPFS and exposes storage interfaces to application layers. Working together, Manta Network will be integrating with the Crust's decentralized storage network, providing it with the Manta Zero Knowledge Proof network. Manta ZKPA solution will enable private transaction throughout Crust network. The second one is a partnership with the Polkadot DAO Alliance. At present, Polkadot DAO Alliance members have expanded to 17 Polkadot ecological projects, covering DAO, smart contracts, DeFi privacy, storage, and other fields. Spend 1 or 2 weekends to watch all Polkadot Decoded videos. You'll like it. Don't forget to subscribe to our Twitter, Medium, Telegram, and YouTube, of course, not to miss all of these interesting updates about Parachain auctions and Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem news and events.